Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, we are going to be talking about my July favorites. I, as typical, have a lot to share with you guys. I don't do monthly favorites all of the time. Last month I did one and that video was very different than what I normally post. I personally loved it. It didn't get like a lot of views, but I mean, I get it, like it's different, but I would like to keep doing that. So I'm gonna have that video linked at the end of today's video if you guys wanna check it out. It's a calming video, so I did absolutely no talking. It was just calming music playing in the background while I did my makeup and just kind of did a lot of close-ups. And all of those products were my favorites for the month of June. So make sure you check that out. Let me know what you guys think about it. Again, I know it's different, but I really enjoyed creating that video. I enjoyed filming it, editing it, watching it afterwards. I just really enjoyed the whole experience. So I hope you guys take the time to check that out. But alright, like I said, I have a lot to show you guys today, so let's just go ahead and get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about, and this is honestly my favorite thing of the entire month if I only had to pick one, and I'm gonna just go ahead and share it with you guys right this moment. I am wearing this foundation today. A lot of these products I am wearing today, so I'll kind of let you guys know as we go. But this foundation from Tom Ford is so good. I have had my makeup on for about 4 to 4.5 hours, and it is still looking amazing. It is 103 degrees outside. I actually had to leave my house because some adapter for my tripod broke, so I went out to purchase another tripod, and then we ended up going to a few more stores. But anyway, so I was out in the heat wearing a mask and all, and this foundation is doing a really good job so far holding up. I did a full day wear test using this. Did I do more than one day? I might have done more than one because I tried to do a few, but now I can't remember now. But yeah, this is amazing. So it is called the Traceless Soft Matte Foundation. I have the shade 6.0 Natural. Now this is the perfect match for me and my natural skin tone. But if I get any type of sun, like today actually I applied some of the by Terry Tea to Tan body bronzer. I love that stuff. Actually, I should have brought it down. That's also a favorite. That's amazing. So anyway, I applied some of that because I'm showing a little bit more skin today. And once I applied this, I noticed such a difference with the color of my face and the rest of my body since I had applied that bronzer. So I had to really warm up my face with other things. So I don't know. I kind of want to get the 6.5. I might, because this is just such a good foundation. Now this does have the word matte in it, but you don't get like a flat matte. I think like it's actually named. It's more of a soft matte. It's more of a natural matte, and it looks, I mean, just so good on the skin. You get really good coverage off the bat. I would say it's a solid medium, and then you can build it up to a full coverage if you'd like. This will last you all day long. It does not separate. It does not cling to dry patches. It really just does everything I need a foundation to do. Now I have an oily T-zone, so at some points I do have to blot. I actually did blot when I got home today, so I should have actually mentioned that. So I did blot earlier, just right here on the sides, but it didn't remove any of the makeup that I had on. Literally just the oils that I had were removed. My foundation, the coverage, everything is still there, looking amazing. I want to wear this next to the Shade and Illuminate foundation because that has been my favorite foundation since I purchased it, like literally my #1. And I kind of feel like this one might take its place. So I really want to wear them side by side and see how they compare. I don't know if I'm going to film it. If you guys want to see it, let me know in the comments down below. But I'll probably just do it like for my own sake, just to really see which one I might prefer. But I love it. I love the packaging as well. It's like this, it is plastic, but it's a frosted packaging, and then it's a twist up. So now as far as concealer, I actually did my word test with this while I did the word test with the Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte Foundation, and I also fell in love with this concealer. Unfortunately, this shade is a little bit too light for me as well. I'm wearing today my under eyes. It doesn't look horrible, but I do prefer darker concealers because I do have really dark under eyes, and so I feel like they conceal a little bit better. This is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Concealer, and the shade I have is 3.1. And it's just amazing. If you do not like to set your under eyes, you don't really need to with this. Now, granted, it's going to crease. If your concealers typically crease, this is not going to not crease, but it's not going to be like excessive. So you can just go in even with your finger, and that's pretty much what I did, I think, when I did the wear test. It's just with your finger, go in and just kind of like dab where you've creased, and problem solved. So I just think that's good because it takes away from having to do that extra step of powdering in case you're not really into that or you just don't have the time for it. And it also gives you more room to do better touching up later in the day if you decide to kind of wear that same makeup out. You could just go in with a little bit more concealer just to add a little bit more coverage, and again, you would be set to go. Now, I think this is advertised as, actually it says here, it just says high coverage. So yeah, I do not think that this is full coverage, but that kind of might depend on how much coverage you may need. If you don't have super dark circles, if you don't have like veiny under eyes, then something like this you may consider full coverage. But for someone like me, I don't necessarily. However, I am very happy with the coverage that I do get with this, and I think it is really, really good. Also, another product that will last you all day long. Their claim is 24-hour wear. I did not test it out for that long, but it will last you all day. So I do have a few products I'm going to mention in today's videos that I rediscovered this past month, and one of them is this bronzer here from Bare Minerals. It is called the Bare Pro Glow Bronzer, Luminous, Lifting, and Lasting, it says here, and it is in the shade Warmth. This is so good. Oh my gosh, you guys, if you want to see this in action, I used it in my last video where I did like this bronzy kind of dewy look, and I just pulled out this product because I had not used it in a really, really long time. I completely forgot how amazing it is. A little bit goes a long way, which just means that this is going to last you forever, but it's so good. It's very pigmented, so yeah, that's why a little bit goes a long way. And I personally like to use this with a brush because I feel like I have more control with how I apply it and where I'm applying it. It is a very, very liquidy formula. Let me actually just show you guys here. Why not? So this is all I really use for my entire face. And so you see it's very liquidy. Like, look at that. You know, you may be able to achieve a little bit more of a sheeny finish, obviously depending on how much you're applying. I really, really, really wish that I know they have another shade actually, I should look at it, but I wish that they would come out with more of a cool tone, or that they come out with a cool tone with like kind of a grayish undertone so that we can use that as a contour, because something like this as an actual contour shade, amazing. That would be so amazing. So this next product I was actually not planning on getting because I had not heard anything about it. I just so happened to come across it on the Harrods website. It was not yet available here in the US when I purchased mine, but it was like maybe about a week after, and luckily it was cheaper through Harrods, even with having to pay for shipping, and it was on sale. So I feel like I got a really good deal, because otherwise I'm not sure I would have bought this and I would have really missed out. So this here is the new pressed powder from Sisley. It is, okay, I cannot pronounce the name of this. The Phyto Poudre Compact, I don't know. It says it's a pressed powder, mattifying and beautifying, and you know what? It definitely beautifies. So this is how it looks, and I have the shade 2 Natural. This applies so nicely on the skin. It's a little bit more pressed in than, say, the Charlotte Tilbury powder, so it doesn't pick up a lot at once, but honestly it picks up the exact amount that you need. It does come with this little thing. I obviously have not used it. I don't really like using those things. Like today I just used my Surratt powder brush and just go in there and do a little swirl. It picks up a good amount, but like you see there, like it's not a ton, but it's all you really need. And I just buffed it into my skin. And it says it's mattifying, but it's really not a matte powder like at all. It will take away some of that shininess that your foundation may provide, but it's not a lot because it leaves the skin very nice and like this real like delicate almost radiance to it. I mean, just amazing. It does a great job at smoothing out my skin. My pores are almost non-existent when I apply this, and it stays like that all day long. I just, oh, I love this, and I kind of wish I had not discovered it, because when I run out of it, I'm going to have to go buy another one because this is just so good. I don't see myself putting this down anytime soon. As a matter of fact, I have not been wearing makeup for about a week and a half, perhaps even a little bit longer. And this is one of the products that I could not stop thinking about. Like, I was so excited to keep using this. I really look forward to it. I know it's expensive, but if you have been eyeing it, you are curious about it, I strongly recommend it. I think it is gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. So this next product is a bronzer, which, by the way, I have yet to do my ranking my bronzer video, and I don't know, is it too late for that? Do you guys still want to see that? I don't know. I feel like I've kind of waited a long time. But anyway, my favorite one at the moment, or the favorite one that I discovered in the month of July, is without a doubt the new bronzer from Gucci. This is so good. So good. I have the shade 2, and this is a perfect shade for my skin tone. I think anything darker, I would have to be extremely careful with how I apply it, because this is very pigmented. So this shade works pretty well for me, where I can almost use any brush with it, but I'm sure if I would have gone with a shade darker, I would have to be very selective with what brush I am using with it. But I mean, it is just gorgeous. I love how it applies onto the skin, because it's not like a matte finish. It's more of a, ooh, how would I describe this? So I'm not even sure if I would say that that's a satin finish. I guess it's more of a natural finish, because it doesn't necessarily give radiance, but it just adds a little something. It's like it almost wants to give some radiance. Okay, that description was horrible. I understand. Sorry. I understand. But just take my word for it, guys. This is an amazing bronzer. It does have a pretty strong fragrance to it, which it's not a bad fragrance. I just obviously would prefer my makeup not to have any. So brands, please stop doing that. But yeah, overall, it's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful product all around. I mean, the packaging of this, how gorgeous is this packaging? I really just cannot get over it. I think it is so beautiful. This is definitely one of those products that all around, you know, it's a luxurious product. What's inside the actual bronzer performs really good. It's high quality. The actual packaging of it, really beautiful, high quality, very sturdy. And I love that this is refillable. So it's got like this little hole there. So at some point they will be just selling the refill pans. So I think that's amazing. I'll be able to keep this for a very, very long time. And that makes me very, very happy. So I actually did not discover a new highlighter this past month, but I did rediscover 2 of them. So one is actually from a video that I did on a full brand review. I ordered a whole bunch of things from Westman Atelier, and honestly, I really am a fan of that brand. It is a newer brand to me still. At this point, I guess I've had these products for over 2 months. There are so many great products with that. So if you guys want to check that out, I do have a video available on almost all of their products, honestly. But this highlighter has just taken me to another world. I love this. These highlighters are called the super loaded tinted highlighters, but the one that I specifically love the most, and I would encourage anybody to go out to get, is the shade Peau de Pêche. I love this. It looks dark here on the pan. Once you apply it onto the skin, it does not look as dark. It just gives this really beautiful, almost wet looking effect to the high points of your cheeks, wherever you apply this, obviously, that I just cannot get enough of. I am wearing this today as well. I'm also wearing the bronzer, actually both of the bronzers that I mentioned I'm wearing today. And oh, I think it's so good. I think this is so, so good. You can apply with your fingers, you can apply with a brush. My preferred way is to apply it with a makeup sponge, and it just blends in so easily. I also recently used this one in a video. Yeah, I just think it is so good. Honestly, any of these, what are they called again? These super loaded tinted highlighters that you see from Westman Atelier are great. They all perform the same. They're all just different shades. So really whichever one, I guess, appeals to you the most. But for me, this is just the one that's really, it's got me. It's got me. And actually, this other one that I'm gonna mention is just like an all-time favorite. I shared this on my Instagram stories. If you guys do not follow me on Instagram, make sure you follow me. I have my handle down here somewhere. And I had decluttered this, and this highlighter I had owned for so long. I had to declutter it a few weeks back because I had just had it for way too long and it was just way too old. And I went to Costco with my husband, and they have some Laura Mercier products there, and guess what? They had this guy there too. So what is this called? This is the Matte Radiance Baked Powder, and it is a stunner. Now, a stunner in the sense that you will look like you are naturally glowing from within. Just this beautiful angelic look to your face that this provides. I was so happy to see it at Costco because it was, how much was it? 25 bucks. So a lot more affordable than if you were to get it at Sephora, say. And look at that, like it just gives this beautiful glow. I love this. I love this. I was so happy that I found it again because it really hurt me when I had to get rid of it. But like, I mean, makeup goes bad, you know, we can't just keep things to just keep, although, I mean, I am keeping a lot of stuff to just keep, but like this doesn't have like special packaging. It doesn't necessarily have like such a special meaning to me except the fact that I just really like the product that's inside. So I went ahead and got rid of that. But yeah, I got it back in my collection. It's back with me. Very happy to have that. Okay, so as far as a blush, I feel like a lot of people are talking about this, and with good reason. The new blushes from Patrick Ta are amazing, beautiful. The packaging is really nice too. I just really dislike how it's like so fingerprinty, like it gets dirty so easily. I just don't like that. And another little pet peeve of mine, I have not seen anybody talk about this, but it really bothers me that to open this, because okay, if you were to see this, one would think that it would open from up here, right? Like I would think, okay, I'm gonna hold this down. Can you guys see? I'm not sure if you guys are able to see that. Okay. So I'm going to hold this down and then pull this up, but no, it opens from down here. And that really bothers me for some reason. But okay, that's the only thing I don't like about this. But besides that, I mean, the product itself is so good that like, who cares, Suzana? Who cares about that? Because these things in here are the prize. So you get a powder highlight, I mean, this is not a highlighter. So you get a powder blush and a cream blush. So you apply the powder first with a brush, and then you apply the cream side on top with a sponge. What do you get? Beautiful, glistening, just marvelous cheeks that I cannot get enough of. This is the only shade I have. I've got to say, I think I ended up picking up the best shade that he has. This one's called She's So LA, and I love it. I love it. I love it so much. So today I'm wearing it, but I'm only wearing the powder side because I have that Westman Atelier highlighter, so I don't want to look like too kind of dewy or wet. Also, I used a lot of these products in my last video, so I wanted to kind of change things up a little bit, and by changing it up, I just didn't use the cream side today. But the actual powder blush is quite pigmented. The cream isn't that pigmented. You can build it up a little bit. I've used both individually and I think they perform really well, but of course you're going to get the best out of this if you use them combined. There is another shade I really want to get, but right now online they're sold out. I know my Sephora close to me has it, but I haven't really been going I haven't been to Sephora in months, and I kind of feel weird going for some reason, but I really want to go just to pick up that other shade I've been eyeing. I just wanted to come back online so I could just order it and and just have it because these are so amazing. As far as eyeshadow palettes, I have quite a few to share with you guys, and it's funny because a few of them are kind of similar in tones, but they're different. Okay guys, they're different. I needed all of these. So I'm gonna start off with the one that I didn't talk about it, but the one that I showed in my June favorites video. Although I haven't really been wearing a lot of makeup lately, before then I was using this palette the most, and it's just, I just cannot get enough of this palette. So this is the bronze palette from Natasha Denona. I know people are saying, oh, some of these colors look very similar to one another. I don't care. I don't care. I love them so much. It's fine. I do not care. Every single eyeshadow in here is beautiful to me. I love them all so much. You can get just like, this is just a palette that I feel like was made for me. All I need in here are just some olive tones and a little bit more like mustardy tones, and like that's it. Like, these are all my colors that I ever need in my life. And Natasha Denona has some of the best eyeshadow formulas ever. The metallics are beautiful. The mattes perform and blend so well, very pigmented, but I still feel like it's still user friendly. There is not a ton of fallout on this. It is just so great. I don't want to keep talking about this because that's just been talked about a lot, but again, with reason, because it is just beautiful in and out, a great palette. I feel like the quality of it is as good as you can get, honestly. Another palette that actually is also really good in quality, well, okay, obviously all of these, that's why I'm talking about them, but this one, so the first time this came out, I was like, no, I don't need that. I refuse to get it. It was being hyped up the moment it released, and that hype continued for quite some time after, and at that point it had sold out, and of course then I wanted it, because, you know, if everybody's saying something is great and then I don't have it, well, then I gotta have it. So the moment it came back and stuck at Sephora, my ass grabbed this. So this is the Supreme Nudes from Artist Couture, and it is so good. I have not shown this in my channel either. If you guys, actually, I know I've worn it in a few videos, but not where like I'm actually showcasing the eyeshadows. But if you guys want me to do like a dedicated video on this, anything you guys want me to do a dedicated video on it from what I'm talking about today, let me know in the comments down below, because this palette is so good. It is currently not available, but I'm sure it's gonna become available soon enough. But oh, look at those colors. And you see how earlier I mentioned olive tones? I love this shade, all of the shades in here. Again, just like the Natasha Denona one, they perform very similarly, and oh, I think it's just, it is divine. I have only used this one a few times, but I do want to use it a little bit more. Now, another palette that again is kind of within the same color scheme as the two that I just showed, just a lot smaller, is this one from Charlotte Tilbury. How gorgeous is this? Now, this is not a new release, but I just recently purchased it. It is the palette the Bella Sophia. You can create just the most beautiful smoky bronzy look with this palette, and you don't even have to go that smoky either if you don't want to, because just applying this all over the lid and your bronzer on the crease, or just going in very lightly with one of these two shades onto the crease, oh my god, amazing. I did a video dedicated to this palette alone, because the first day that I applied this onto my eyes, I was in love with myself. Like, I seriously could not get over how beautiful my eyes looked that day. I know how I sound, guys, but you know what? That palette is just so good. And I think because you only get 4 shades, it just makes it so easy and so effortless to create a look. There's just no fuss with it, because there's not a lot of thinking having to go on. Just go in there, you see a shimmer shade, and you know that goes onto the lid. You see a really light shade, you know that goes into your inner corners, onto the brow bone, and then the darker shades, you use that to kind of smoke it up a little bit. Now, this last palette, which is what I'm wearing today, I hesitated in showing in today's video just because it is not yet available here in the US. So annoying. But I did discover it more recently, so I'm gonna share it with you guys. I did do a first impressions review on this, as well as the Meteoric palette that came out with this Tom Ford palette, so if if you guys want to check that out, that is available in my channel. But the one that I am most in love with is this one called Visionaire. And although from Tom Ford, I am more keen to enjoy his wet to dry formula, but these colors here are just so up my alley. It is what I've been wearing today. I just love this. Originally, I thought this shimmery shade right here is kind of like a, how do you describe this? It's like a shimmery glittery shade sort of. I thought it was going to be more of a topper, but I went ahead and applied it with my finger. I'm going to apply a little bit more, and it comes out so opaque. I mean, look at that. It is just so gorgeous, and I'm going in really lightly right now. I would describe the formula of this one more of a sophisticated glitter, because I'm not someone that really likes like big chunky glitters on my lids. I just feel like, I don't know, most of the time I'm not able to pull it off, but this, oh yes. And then I love this kind of like pinky salmon shade. Honestly, all of the shadows in here work really well together. You don't have to use them all at once, just use a few. So today I have this pinky shade. I put it in the inner portion of my crease here and then blended it upwards. And then I used this shade here, which is, it's a brown, but it's got like an olive undertone to it. I applied that on the outer portion of the crease to add that depthness, a little bit onto the outer portion of the lid as well. And then with my finger, I went in with this shimmer shade all over the lid. And then just very, very lightly, I used both of these shades here for the bottom lash line. Done. So now this has just become another Tom Ford quad that I really, really enjoy. Alright, so I actually have two mascaras I discovered this past month. The first one is a sample size that I got, but this little guy is so good. I want to get the full size once this one dries out. But I'm gonna wait until like I'm done with this one, because I just recently bought a few new mascaras, so I don't need to go buy more, but I'm gonna keep using this little guy. So this is from Tom Ford. It is the Badass mascara. It is so good. It is like that kind of like plastic, like a rubbery type of wand. It is very stiff, but as you can see, like the bristles are super short, so they really get in there. And I just love it. It adds volume, it adds length, and it helps keep your lashes in place all day long, and I absolutely really, really love it. Now this other one that I have is from Hourglass, and it is their Unlocked Instant Extensions Mascara. Now I have pretty long eyelashes. I do use an eyelash serum religiously up until, actually in the last few weeks I haven't been as good, but typically I do apply my eyelash serum every night. Once they get to like the length that I like, I try to kind of cut back and do every other night. Because of that, my lashes are really long, and they're typically a little bit more full, but I think because I've been slacking a little bit, they're getting a little bit sparse, so I need to get back on that. But anyway, because I have really long lashes, I actually do feel like this gives me that eyelash extensions look. This also has like that rubbery wand to it, which is funny because I typically do not prefer rubbery wands, but I guess with some mascaras it just works a lot better than with others. And also because the little bristles in here are so small, you can really go in there, dig it onto the base of your lash, and just comb the entire thing. It'll coat your entire lashes and really help lift them up. It'll add a little bit of length. I don't know if it adds a lot of length, but again, because I have long lashes, I feel like it really accentuates that, and they will stay put all day. No transferring, no flaking, no nothing. Like there's no fuss to this. And something I most recently found out about this mascara is that it is a tubing mascara, and I'm so surprised that they do not advertise it as such, because a lot of people, a lot of us, because I do too, love tubing mascaras because it is very gentle to your natural eyelashes and it's a lot easier to remove. So I kind of felt like, oh my gosh, it's extra special because of that. So I think it is really, really good. So, alright guys, that is it. We have reached the end of today's video. I really appreciate you guys joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. It really does help me out a lot. And while you're there, do not forget to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Until next time.